Hi, welcome. We're 17 years old again. We've done this many times before. We're just repeating patterns. No, I'm making jokes. We're happy to be here. I'm happy that all of you joined today to celebrate with us and to really look for the good. And that's what Blissworks is about, is looking for the good inside ourselves. And of course, when we can see it in ourselves, we can see it in the other. And when I think about what Blissworks is about, I think community. That's exactly what it's about. And how we build community, how we, community is sometimes difficult to deal with. Like some people kind of rub us the wrong way, but all of that is for our own learning and our own unfolding. Other times we have real heart connection with other people in the community, and those relationships may evolve too. Maybe you have one friend through Blissworks, and maybe you have many. There have been many people who've come and gone through these doors in 17 years. We've had 3 locations on State Street in New London, and I've had different partners in the business before, and everything has evolved. It's evolved exactly as it should so that we can arrive right here today and party. And so it is also, like I was mentioning before class, it feels a lot like divine intervention, but it's all divine intervention. So how things work out is just as they should work out. And if we could look at life like that, for what can I learn from this moment? What can I learn from this lesson? That keeps us curious. It keeps us learning and growing, and also not fighting against what is. So how to accept, arrive into the moment, and then make your best choice from there. Like, how can you adapt and evolve into the next moment too? So recognize yourself as part of this community, because you are indeed part of this community, and you take your rightful place there. It's a place of worthiness that you belong, even if you haven't been here before, or even if you've been here many times. You belong right here in this place, on this path. And if you're not already seated, go ahead and close your eyes and sit nice and tall in your spine. One of the words in Sanskrit is Kula, and Kula is another word for it is Sangha. It's more of a Buddhist type term, and translated both of those as community. Close your eyes and recognize yourself as part of this community. There are many communities and subgroups of people that we find ourselves attracted to. And somehow you're attracted to this one. And we're all equal members in this Kula. Kula is a community of the heart. The people who you choose to spend your time with. And in the Kula, we have friends on the path. Friends who want to support us in our own growth, and to hold our hands when we're grieving. All aspects of community, to be there when we're celebrating and when we're grieving. Be in your breath if you're not already conscious of it. Really feel your breath fill you to the top. And softly exhale all the way to the bottom. Breathing in and out through your nose as you're able. And please bring your palms to meet to your heart center. So, community of the heart. What does that mean to you? If you so wish, please join me in one Om, taking a deep breath in. Bowing into your own heart, to your own vastness, and we acknowledge each other. Namaste. You may release your hands, open your eyes, and start your practice on all fours in a table pose, please. So, knowing how to support yourself in the pose, if you need to pad your knees or come up on fists. If you're on fists to support your wrists that way, make sure your palms face in toward one another. And line your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Lift your head and your tail together and let the spine sway down. So you create a big arc in your back. Then tuck the tail under and chin to chest and round as pushing into your arms. Inhale, tip the sitting bones up, the head high, belly down. And then move the spine the other way and exhale, push all the air out. So part of our evolution, like there's ups and downs in everyone's evolution. Times where you feel like you're in the flow and other times where you feel you're going against the flow. It's not all meant to be easy. But whatever our experience is just right for us. Finish on an exhale, rounding your spine. And then use your hands to push your hips to your heels and bow forward into a child's pose. If your head does not rest easily on the floor, you can stack one fist on the other as I'm modeling and rest your forehead on the top fist. Find your deep breath. So each of us has our own journey. We're all on our own path. And yet there are others on the path with us. There's so many paths. But on this yogic path, we're living the lessons of yoga, this ancient tradition of how it is to live a good life, how to be the best person we can be. Lift yourself back up out of that child pose, and come to table. Straighten your right leg back on the floor once you get there and push through your heel. So have the foot on the floor so you can press through the heel. And now find a range of motion, lowering your right heel toward the left side. So you roll to the inner edge of your foot and then up and over to the right. So the heel might not go all the way to the floor, and that's fine. Just find your range of motion, staying on the blade of the foot. So it's never a place where your ankle, that side of your ankle would hit the floor. You're either on the inside or the outside blade of the foot. And then with the heel to the left next time, place the foot flat onto the floor. So you roll to the instep and then make the foot flat. Push so strongly into your left hand that you can lighten up onto your right fingertips. And if you're okay there, rooting into your foundation, turn out to the right side. Good, this is a variation. Raise your top arm to the ceiling as an option here. Push the floor away. Push with your bottom 2 feet. Both feet push down, your bottom hand pushes down, and you can reach up, maybe even look up. And then release, lower back down, drop your right knee, and extend your left leg straight. With the toes on the floor, start in center and push your heel back. So finding your place here, it's like taking your rightful place, being worthy that you're part of something bigger than you. That's the essence of community, is that we get out of ourselves. Everybody's got their own stuff going on, but we recognize that we're part of something bigger than just ourselves. Rock to the inside edge of the foot and rock to the outside edge of the foot. And then as you're moving your foot that way, feel the rotation go all the way up the length of your leg into your hip socket. So ultimately, you're rotating the femur bone in your hip socket. Next time your heel drops to the inside edge, place the foot flat and really push into that leg. Push the leg straight. Push into your bottom arm and lighten up onto your left. Maybe your left hand comes to your hip as you turn out to the side. It's a modified Vrikshasana, modified side plank pose. Maybe raising the top arm to the sky. So on your foundation, if you look down, what's most important is the base of your index knuckle is pressing. Make sure that's not lifted up. If it is lifted up, squeeze the hand more to the middle to rock to the inner edge and push that knuckle down. See if you can turn, maybe look up. And then look back down again. Drop your knee back into your table pose. And now walk your knees back a step. Tuck your toes and lift into a downward facing dog. Just take a few breaths here, bending one knee at a time. And make a slow transition to have your hands and feet together. So bring your hands and feet together into Uttanasana, standing forward bend. And once you're here, grab for your elbows. You can fold your arms or you can hold your elbows. Let your head hang. Deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Again, deep inhale. One more time. Release your arms. Let your arms hang down. And while you're forward folding here, raise all your toes up away from the floor. As your toes lift, rock to the inner edge, the big toe ball mound. Really make sure that's pressing. So just like we rock off the inside of the hand, we also rock off the inside of the foot. Push the big toe ball mounds down and your outer heels together. And then place the pinky side ball mound in the inner heel. Rest your toes down so they're not gripping, but you can still push into the four corners of your feet. Push your legs into the floor as you open your arms wide and rise. Stretch all the way up to stand and have your palms meet overhead. And now lower your hands to heart center. Next breath is a sun breath. Raise your arms, breathe in and look up. Exhale, swan dive, bow forward. And remember to bend your knees as much as you need to support your back. Lift to a half bend and slide your hands to the front of your shins. And then fold. Exhale, drop your head, look down. Root into your legs, open your arms, and lift your way up. Maybe you want to add a little back bend, your choice. And then palms meet heart center once again. Keep it moving. Maybe try closing your eyes. Sun breath into a swan dive. Holding on your exhalation. Lifting halfway on the inhale, so your breath leads and then you follow. The breath leads and you fold back down again. Breath leads and breathe all the way up overhead. And exhale, hands lower to heart center. Go one more round, a sun breath. Inhale to your swan dive. Try to move at your own pace. Next time your hands come to heart center, though, pause there. Pause with hands to heart center and take chair pose. Sit your hips back. Sink your hips back. And then once your hips are back, check your knees. Your knees don't want to knock in together. They want to be straight out over your ankles. And your knees also don't want to be way out over your toes. If that's the case, you have to sink your hips back a little bit more, like you're going to sit down. One breath, raise your arms up in line with your ears and push your legs straight. Come all the way up. Swan dive, exhale to the floor. Halfway lift, slide up your shins or keep your fingertips to the floor. Fold back down again. Reverse swan dive and rise. Palms meet. Bend your knees in, sink your hips down. For Uttanasana. Raise your arms straight up. And then straighten your legs. Up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Reverse swan dive. Up. As your hands lower to your heart, also bend your knees again. One more time through. Straight arms. Straighten your legs and swan dive. Halfway lift and fold. Reverse swan dive. This time keep your legs straight. Lower your hands down to your heart on your exhalation and pause. Good, and then release your arms down and turn out to your side. I'm going to turn out to my side on the long edge of your mat and open your feet out with your toes pointing apart. So they're not as wide as they would be in a warrior pose, but they're definitely wider than your shoulders. Open your arms wide as well and spread your fingers. Spread your fingers, overspread your fingers. They might even feel like they hurt a little bit if you stretch them too much. And then back off from there, but you might still feel a stretch along the palm. Can you feel the skin of your palm stretching as you open up? There we have chakras in our palms. And even if you don't do Reiki, think of your palms swirling right now. There's a swirling pool in each palm, and you're just shining out light out from each of your palms. And you know the palms, the hands, the arms are an extension of what? The heart. So the palms are mini chakras to the big heart chakra. Taking a breath here and lift all your toes up. So we're lifting the toes brightly because we're celebrating today. Celebrate. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. Now keep your toes lifted, but squeeze your heels towards one another, right? And see if you can squeeze your heels in as you bend your knees out. Bend the knees, bend your elbows, and sink down into the goddess pose. Now push into your legs, open your arms back up to a V, and that's the inhaling breath. Exhale, squeeze your heels together as your knees bend. Again, don't knock the knees in, straighten on the in-breath, so you're pulsing here. And all of us are pulsing. We're little pulsing, we're seriously little balls of light. And we're vibrating a very high level. Push into your legs and shoot out through your fingertips. And then condense all that energy, pull it down into your core. Each time you might go a little bit deeper. Make sure your knees are not knocking in together. That's important. Press your knees out toward the pinky side of your foot. 2 more times. Sink down on the exhale and then really push into your legs. You almost spring up a little bit. Last time through. Back to straight arms and twinkle your fingers. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle. I can see you. And then release. Lower your arms. Walk your feet together. So are your shoulders more tired right now, or are your thighs more tired? Or is it a little bit of both? I definitely feel it more in my shoulders and my arms than I do in my legs. Next, we'll go into tree pose, Vrikshasana. And you can start with a weight onto your right leg. So shift your weight into your right leg. And just first, eyes are pointed gazing at one point. So fix your eyes on a point ahead that's not moving and lean to your right leg so your left leg gets lighter. And the more you push into your right leg, the lighter the left leg gets. That would be a stage 1. 2, open your knee out to the side and place your heel to your inner ankle. If you know a different version of tree, feel free to go there yourself. If your heel's on your inner ankle, toes are on the floor like a kickstand, bring your palms to meet together in front of your heart. Flex your foot in balance, and if you feel unbalanced, just lower the foot back down like a kickstand. Eyes are on your one point. You may sway a bit, but don't let the big toe ball mound lift on the standing leg. And keep widening your bent knee behind you, opening the hip that way. And then release your pose, bring the knee forward, relax your arm, your leg, stand in mountain pose once again, and take a breath. And then shift your weight the other side. So take your time to get there, especially if you're new to the practice. You have to build a concentration and allow yourself to ground down. But even if you're not new to the practice, get more grounded in that standing leg so the other leg can actually feel lighter. I'm going to keep the heel to the inner ankle, palms to the heart. And then flex your foot to balance and lower the foot to unbalance. Open the bent knee back. Draw your shoulders back. Even by pushing your palms together, that can help draw your shoulder blades together on your back. Draw your ears back. Excuse me, and release this side. Land your leg, land your arms, and take a breath. So a thing to notice in concentration, how, like when we concentrate, sometimes tension is created, right? Because you're concentrating so hard. So if your eyes are really sharp and hard as you're looking at your gazing point, that's going to give a different energy than if you can soften your gaze. So softening the gaze means just relaxing the muscles around your eyes while you're holding the drishti. So do that here in mountain pose. Fix your eyes on a point and then see if you can even relax your eyes even a little bit more in that gaze. Be in your breath. We're going to try tree again, landing into your right leg. Shift your weight. And open your left knee out to the side. You can have your heel to the inner ankle or the inner calf below your knee joint. If you can reach for the ankle and place it to the inner thigh above your knee joint, palms meet together in front of your heart. Keep your eyes focused on your one point that's not moving, but let your eyes be soft. Focus on your breathing. And if you want to add more, this is all options. Raise your arms straight up overhead, palms stay together, and then open your arms out to the sides and meet hands back together in front of your heart once again. Breathe in to the top, following your breath, your own rhythm. Exhale. And one more time. Deepen your roots. Root into yourself. Root into your place here, your worthy place as part of. Release your hands. Next time they hit heart center, release your leg and stand once again in mountain pose and feel the stability on the two legs. So we're building strong bones by putting weight. When we do standing balances, we're building bone strength. But find that evenness of balance once you're on both legs again. And then try the other side. So heel to your inner ankle, knee presses back. Heel to the inner calf, knee presses back. Heel to the inner thigh, knee presses back. Palms meet together in front of your heart. Let your eyes, your focus be soft. So really practice relaxing amidst all the effort. This time, reverse the move. The arms go wide first. Meet your palms at the top and lower them back to heart center. Follow the length of your own breath. So you're not keeping up with me. You're following where your breath comes to the top, your palms meet, and you slow down the arm movement enough to last for the length of your exhalation. Try one more round. Eyes soft, breath easy and deep. When your palms meet to your heart next time, release the pose. So in the Vedas, in the very ancient text, the earliest text, there is an image of an upside down tree. So the roots are actually in the sky. And then there's all the leaves that come out that are in the earth. So that's why I love that vision of the diversity of things and how we're all each a little leaf on this bigger tree of life. And when we stay grounded and rooted in ourselves, we can see ourselves more clearly. But we have friends on the path. In Sanskrit, one of my favorite words, Kalyana Mitra. Try to say that, Kalyana Mitra. Kalyana Mitra are friends on the path who are with us as we go through our own processes. Step forward to the front of your mat space and stand in mountain pose. Find your palms to meet together in front of your heart. Close your eyes a moment and simply be present here. Feel your feet. Feel the texture of the mat beneath your feet. Breathe in and stretch wide. Open up to more. Stretch your arms and meet overhead. And then Swan Dive. Bend your knees to support your low back. The more you bend the knees, the easier it is on your back. Breathe in and halfway lift. And then breathe out to fold. Step your right leg back into a lunge and lower that knee to the mat. Press your right hand down into the floor and bring your left hand to the top of your left thigh. Take in a breath. And as you exhale, can you let your hips sink deeper? Sink the hips down a little bit more. Now push into your right arm, turn your belly and chest, and either look to the side or maybe even gaze up toward the ceiling. Another option is to raise your top arm right up, palm faces out in the direction of the left. Push into your bottom arm, turn your belly, your chest, and gaze up. If you want to up level this, you'd lift your back knee up. Take one more breath. If you push into the floor more, can you turn yourself from deep inside? And then release your pose. Touch your hand down. And from here, your back thigh wants to be at an angle. So make sure that's the case first. Your back thigh is not straight up and down to begin with. But as you straighten your front leg, walk your hands back or use blocks if you have them available. Come up onto your left heel. Spread your left toes, right? We're celebrating. Spread those toes. They're so happy. And then pull the heel back. And isometrically, you're dragging the heel back to pull the whole left leg back. And then from there, stretch your side body. You're lengthening your spine forward. So the heel activates. You have to spread the foot to activate the muscles of the leg. Draw the heel back and reach your heart more forward. Bow your head down and take some breaths. Then come out slowly. Bend into your front leg again. This time you will lift your back knee, push off your back foot, and step to the front. Breathe in and look forward. Breathe out and fold. Rise to stand. Open your arms. Let your palms meet overhead. And as you exhale, palms to heart center. Try it again. Sun breath. So celebrate. Soften as you exhale. Try to make this just enough. You're just giving just enough effort. Halfway lift. And bow. Now your left leg leads back. Remember, you can double up your mat, bending it lengthwise, or pad your back knee. Place your left hand under your shoulder and right hand onto the right thigh. So this is the basic form of the pose. Your left wrist is directly underneath your shoulder. Have the palm flat, even if you're using a block. This time, use your hand on your right thigh and push your hand into your thigh. See if that can help you turn your belly, turn your chest, draw your shoulders back, draw your ears back, right? So there shouldn't be a kink in your neck. If there's a kink in the neck, gaze more forward, draw your ears back to open your throat, and then maybe you can turn up. Maybe you want to raise your back top arm up as well, spreading your fingers there too. Think of full celebration and gratitude. I'm in such gratitude that we're able to gather, even in this way, holding space for one another, supporting each other to continue with the yoga practice. Not just to open the body, but to really give the mind some space. Take another breath or two. If you want to lift your back knee, you can. And release, slowly land your arm. Walk your front leg back so it straightens. Open the knee and lift up onto your right heel. So flexing the foot would be a step one. Spreading the toes is a step two. And these build upon each other. So you keep that. Step three is to drag the heel back without actually moving it. And then reach your side body long, bow softly. Let your eyes close even as you draw your chest in the direction of your front knee. Rebend your knee. And walk your right hand to the inside of that front leg and then swing that front leg back behind you and set up in a child's pose with your knees apart and your toes together. You can stack fist on fist with your forehead on your top fist. That can help keep your neck in line with your spine. And just settle into this moment. So yoga teaches us that we are just where we need to be. We're in acceptance of this moment. And this moment is, of course, whatever moment we find ourselves in. Come up slowly and once again into a table pose. So there's definitely been times in my life where I'm like, haven't I evolved enough? Haven't I learned enough lessons? But if we don't keep evolving and growing, we're just going to be stagnant. So that's the two choices. Nobody wants to be stagnant. But we have to move through change together and know that you're not alone. Straighten your right leg back on the floor, lifting the knee up and push through your heel once again. Pivot the foot to the right side and place the foot flat. So if it's hard to balance with your left knee and left foot and right foot all in one line, you can swing your left foot behind you. It'll probably come off of your mat behind you, and that might give you more stability. Turn out to the side like we did earlier in this variation of Vrikshasana. And then to go a step deeper still, your straight leg, you can lift up away from the floor, trying to make it parallel from your hip. This is my big celebration pose. Raise your top arm if you so choose. Push the floor away, push into your foundation, and lean back, lean open, and maybe look up a little bit. If you want more, bend your top leg and reach back for the pinky side of your foot. And if you have it, kick your foot back into your hand, lean your throat open, and this little balancing back bend. Straight arm, straight leg. And gaze down, land softly back into your table pose once again. And here you might want to wag your hips a little bit side to side. Try the other side by straightening the left leg, push through your heel, lower the heel, place that foot flat, push stronger into your right arm to find balance and lift your left hand to your hip. So anywhere along the way, I do these pauses. You can just stay there, stay in the integrity of your pose and the integrity of your breath. Maybe raise your straight leg, maybe the left arm up to the ceiling. So this is a modified half moon, but we're spreading toes and fingers brightly, maybe even smiling a little bit if you dare. Bend your top leg to go another level. And it's important, this one, the heel doesn't go to the ceiling. It's back behind you. The heel is no higher than your hip. But as you kick the foot, spread your toes, lean back, open your throat. And then straight arm, straight leg. Lower slowly as you gaze down, land into table pose once again. And the hips go side to side. And then release. Come around to sit next. So land on to your sitting bones and bring the soles of your feet together. As your feet meet, grab onto your ankles or shins and sit up tall with straight arms. So it's almost like you're leaning back a bit. Lean your ears back. And in that, see how tall you can lift your heart. So reaching as if you had strings coming out of the top of your heart space. Lift your chest up, shoulders back, ears back. So a common misalignment when you do a forward bend is people will tend to jut their head forward and really reach with their chin. Try not to do that, but instead hinge at your hips. Lean forward at your hips. Lift your heart. Lean forward at your hips. Lift your heart. Lean forward at your hips. Heart high. And maybe stay here. So as ever far as you can go, hinging at your hips, you can stay there with a straight back. Or if you so choose, you can also bow your head forward, round your shoulders forward, and come more like you look like a turtle shell on the back. Soften yourself down. Exhale and release forward. So there's not a lot of efforting going on here, more a lot of gravity. Be heavy. The weighted one is the guru. That's one translation of the word guru means the weighted one, the one who is heavy, the one who takes up space. And many of you know my favorite definition of guru is to spell out the letters. G, you are you. Before you rise, draw your navel in and up toward your ribs. Hold that engagement as you stack your spine. Lift up through center again. And then lift just your right knee up. Slide your left foot under the right leg. And bring your left hand to the front of your right knee. Your right hand comes behind. Prop up on your fingertips behind your back, right in close to your body as you can get them. And then push into your fingertips, lift up through your side body, through the crown of your head, and then use your front hand to help turn you. Use your front arm to help spin the belly and chest more to the right side. So you want the hand in close to your body so that you can sit up as straight as possible. push into the floor, lift through your sides, and then use your front arm to twist. Your gaze can go way back over your back shoulder. And here too, make sure your eyes are soft. Do they feel hard? Can you relax around your eyes, soften your jaw? And catch an inhalation as you unwind, come back out. And bring the soles of your feet together again. So you just start in neutral, in center, and then switch your legs. Lift your left knee so the foot comes flat. Tuck the right foot under. Bring your right hand in front and prop up onto your left fingertips, right in as close to your body as you can get them. And then push into the floor, lengthen through your spine, and use your front arm to turn yourself. So, of course, you want to be able to breathe. Breathing is actually the clue to yoga practice. A conscious breathing practice is what we're about, and then everything else is added on. People who can't move can do ujjayi breath and practice that. Inhale to come out. And next is called easy sitting pose. It's fine if you want to sit on something, if you want to put yourself on a pillow or a blanket like you would at the start of practice. Place your hands onto your knees. And actually hold on to the front of your knees. And then straighten your elbows as best as you can. Sit up nice and tall. And then look up, lift your chin up. So what you don't want to do is tip the head back and crunch the back of the neck. But as you lift your chin up slowly, you're actually using neck muscles to hold the head. And now the exhale, tuck your tailbone under, lean back like a cat pose, bring your chin to your chest and roll back as far as you can. Round back. And rock to the front of the sitting bones, bend your elbows, draw your shoulders back and chin up. And then round back to straight elbows, chin to chest, tuck the tail. Inhale up to the back bend. Exhale back. Last time through. And to center. Place your right hand to the floor on the right side and raise your left arm to the ceiling. Spread the fingers of your top hand and then arc over to your right side, taking a side stretch. Circle your top arm behind you. This is a backstroke we're doing for our dance party. Half backstroke. So rotating at your shoulder, like if you're anything like me, you're hearing some sound through the shoulder. So there's often the joint and all the muscles. There's a lot going on in the shoulder. We have to keep it mobile, keep things moving. You don't want it to get frozen. Reach the arm around one more time and go into your side angle again, really stretching off to the side. Push into the floor with your bottom hand, lift up and pause. Pause with your right arm straight up from your shoulder and then lean to your left side. So first you go in, it's about a lateral stretch along the side body and then circle the arm back, finding your range of motion here, forward and around. You might close your eyes as you feel the stretch through the joint and finding what your range of motion is. My advice is always if you're cringing at any point, it means you're doing too much. If you're making a sharp face or scrunching your eyes tight, you need to either breathe deeper or back off a little bit of the rotation. So how we evolve as a community, we've changed. So many people have come through the doors and some have left and some have come back. And yet we're all still part. Reach your arm overhead and lean off to your side again. Push the floor away to help lift yourself upright. Good. So hopefully you're feeling a little more awake. We've done a lot of spinal movements in this past 45 minutes or so. And we're going to work a little bit with the center part of the body. And here you can bring your feet flat onto the floor so your knees are bent, and then hold behind your knees. If it feels like your low back is kind of collapsing back, that much more so, you have to pull behind your thighs to help lift your torso, draw your shoulders back. So that's one, it's really to pull the low back into the body so it's not going the other way. That's actually essential and important for back health. Two, maybe you can lift your, flex at your feet so your heels are down, spread your toes. So this method of yoga that I teach, it's about engaging, right? We're really engaging in life. It's not some monotheistic or, I forgot the word, aestheticism, to move away from the world. We're actually in the world practicing our yoga. You can keep hold of your legs or open your arms out from your shoulders, your palms facing in. As you pull your heels back, can you draw your low back in more? So the low back into the body and your shoulder blades onto your back. Now place your feet down, but you're still pulling the heels back. I know it's a lot. Tuck your tail and lower, but you're not going to come all the way down. You're just going to move toward your sacrum area, which is at the low back, and now pull your belly in and stretch yourself forward, reach forward, bow your head. You're just going to do 3 of those. Come back. You're working your core strength. Keep your feet flat. Pull your navel in, making a C shape in your spine as you reach forward. One more time. Pull the belly in as you come forward and reach forward. And then next time you're going to come all the way back. Try to keep your feet flat, push into your legs, and roll down your spine. Slow as you can. And then once you land there, you can say, ah, and rest a few breaths in on your back. And so we receive the efforts. We receive the benefit of our efforts. Place your feet flat on the floor with your knees bent and turn your palms face down at your sides. Pull your right knee into your chest and grab in front of your right knee if you can. Draw the knee in toward your chest and then grab behind the right thigh and interlace your hands to the back of your right thigh. Straighten your knee and push your thigh out into your hands. So your right leg will go towards straight and your arms will go towards straight as well. Circle your foot up at your ankle a few times each direction. And go the other way. Flex and point your foot a few times. And then at the ankle, rotate the sole of the foot into the left and out to the right. So at the ankle, rotate in and out. It's called invert, side to side. Pause, and then bend your knee, right knee bends, and step your foot so the arch of your foot comes right onto your left kneecap. The arch of the right foot kind of nestles right over the left knee. Bring your left hand to your right knee, and then both knees to the left. Tip your left knee off to the left, and your right knee will go for the ride. Place your left hand on top of the leg and extend your right arm out from your shoulder. In this final twist, take some deep breaths in and out. And feeling your place as part of. Especially in these times, it's easy to feel isolated and disconnected. And making even more effort. It's an internal job that you are a part of. It's you're claiming that. you are a part of. As humans, we need each other. We're social beings, even us introverts. It's good to have time alone, but ultimately we need connection. Lift your left knee up away from the floor. Let the right leg come for the ride. And as you roll onto your back, then place your right foot back down onto the floor. With that foot flat, pull your left knee in and hold in front of the leg. Bend your elbows and draw the leg in closer. Switch behind the thigh now, interlace there, and open your knee. Push your thigh into your hands, pull your shoulder blades onto the back behind you, and circle your top foot. Circle the other way. So you'll see the pointing and flexing, the invert and evert are all part of these circles. So we'll just break it up now. Flex and point. And then roll from your ankle, sole of the foot right and left, side to side. And pause. Bend your knee. Place the arch of your foot right on top of the right knee this time and drop your knees to the right side. Place your right hand on top of your legs and extend the left arm out from your shoulder. Deepen your breath. Lift your right knee to unwind. Lift your weight to center and pull both knees into your chest now. Hold on around both legs. And then hold each knee, one hand on each kneecap, and circle your knees clockwise together in a clockwise direction. And try to make it a little bigger as you play around with your balance, but also getting the massage over your low back area, top of the buttock area. Change the direction so both of your knees can circle the other way. And then rotate your knees apart. Go wide and back together again. Change direction. And then hold your knees wide apart. So to start with, place your hands to the outside of your knees. Hopefully your elbows can hit the floor. So have your elbows on the floor, but your hands are supporting either the outer thigh or the outer knee. And your legs then can sort of rest into your hands like a hammock. Place your hands to the inside of your knees. And instead of pushing the knees apart, which might be the tendency, instead you're going to push the knees into your hands a little bit as your hands resist it. As you release the effort, your knees might naturally go wider. And then do it 2 more times. Push your knees into your hands for an in-breath. And as you exhale, don't push your hands apart, but just let the legs relax, and they might naturally go wider. One more time. Hold your hands steady. Push your knees actively into your hands. And then release your efforts. You can hold here or raise the soles of your feet toward the ceiling to grab your feet for happy baby pose. And if that's not accessible to you, you can have the feet to the ceiling and grab under your thighs, or you can just stay where we were in that wide-legged stretch. Those of you who have hold of your feet, you can use some arm strength to draw the knees down like they're going to land on each side of your body. kick your feet up into your hands and aim your tailbone closer down toward the floor to get length in your low back area. Stay center or rock yourself side to side as you wish. Release this pose and bring the soles of your feet onto the floor together. So bottoms of the feet touch, knees apart. We did this in seated, and now we're revisiting it here in the supine version, Uttanasana. And in this version, we're going to activate a little bit more. So think of it as a celebration. You're going to press your feet together on the in-breath and press your knees apart as you exhale. Breathe in and press your feet together actively and breathe out to widen. I got something in my throat. Push your feet in on the inhale and out on the exhale. And release, lift the knees, come center. And as your knees walk in, open the feet apart. So there's variation in resting pose in its own degree. Your sacrum, the low part of the back, almost imprints into the floor here. So feel the low back get heavier and settle in. Reach both arms up to the ceiling, right up from your shoulders, and then bend at your elbows and clasp your elbows. Keep hold of your elbows as you bring your arms over to your right side and hold over to the right side. Raise your arms to middle and lean them over to the left side. Bring your arms up through center and pause there with the elbows still being held. Open your knees apart and walk your feet to the outer edge of your mat. Now this time as your knees go to the left side, draw your arms to the right side and hold there. Hold and breathe and let gravity pull you deeper into the pose. And then switch your sides, lift up. As your knees go right, bring your arms off to the left side and hold. Come back through center again. Keep hold of your elbows if you can. Drop your arms overhead so you're making a box around your head. And soles of the feet together. Last time, open the knees out. Feet in, knees out. Release your pose. Release your arms. Lift your knees back up together and draw both knees into your chest. So this knees into the chest this way, like this inverted child pose. This is an inversion because your legs are higher than your heart. So if this is your place you want to stay here. The next step would be to sit on your hands, palms face down, trying to touch the tips of your index and thumb tips together, and you make a triangle right at your sacrum, and then extend your legs up from there. You could also put a block underneath your hips, or do this without sitting on your hands, would be a little bit more challenging abdominally. Once your legs come high, look up at your feet and imagine you're standing on the ceiling. So for most of us, that means we have to pull the pinky side toward the floor more, push the big toe ball mounds toward the ceiling more, and maybe spread your toes. Celebrate, celebrate, dance to the music. You can thank me later for getting that song into your head. Take one more breath in this inversion. And then see where this wants to lead you. What is your next movement? Maybe it's right into Shavasana or anywhere else that your legs, whatever movement or stretch, or whether it looks like yoga or not looks like yoga, try to feel what your body needs, if anything, before you end the practice. And then we'll meet in Shavasana. I'll lead you in just about a minute or so. And then make your way toward a final relaxation in Shavasana. Make your adjustments for your comfort. And give yourself some time to become calm. Give yourself some time to release the efforts of the movement. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel the whole of your body release. So I'd like to lead a contraction and release Shavasana. I know often when I'm practicing myself, I don't want to do the contraction and release Shavasana. It's entirely up to you. If you want to try it out, you might get a deeper relaxation as a result of the efforts. Starting in the toes, scrunch up your toes, hold your toes and squeeze your toes tight, 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 and then release. Wiggle out the toes and feel them relax. Next, you'll engage your feet, flex at your ankles, Squeeze the calves and the thighs tight. Squeeze your knees tight. Flex all parts of your legs. Squeeze and hold and squeeze tighter, 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 and then release. And really feel that shift as all parts of your legs relax. Next, into the buttocks muscles. Squeeze and hold the buttocks tight, tight, tight. Squeeze harder, harder, harder. Squeeze, 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 and release. And feel that softening happening on the whole backside. Next is the abdomen. Engage your abdomen from the outside in. Pull everything in. Squeeze and hold and squeeze and squeeze and hold harder and release. Soften the belly. Make fists with your hands and squeeze them tight, 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 tight. Keep squeezing, keep holding, keep squeezing harder, 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 and release. Peel open your palms. Relax your fingers, palms face up if you so desire. And the last place is the face. So purse your lips and scrunch your eyes and squeeze everything in tight, tight, tight. Hold, hold, hold. Squeeze, 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 squeeze harder, 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 and release. Feel the tension evaporate out from all parts of your face. And let yourself be held in the safety of your room, in the safety of the floor beneath you. Really practice some deep relaxation. And as you rest today, I'm going to read one of my favorite poems by Dana Folds. They're all my favorites. But this one's entitled, I Am All of This. There are as many paths to truth as there are heartbeats, leaves, butterflies in summer twilight. Let me tell you of the path that's chosen me, the road that has drawn my feet forward, the way of my awakening. Defying easy definition, it unfolds and I follow. With each step, I let in more of life. I expand into vastness. My reach exceeds my grasp until I hold to nothing solid. I include, widen, grow deeper. This too is me, and this, and yes, even this. There is more emptiness than substance here, and not a single rule to live by. In place of form, there is an ecstatic dance with the boundless infinity of truth. There is freedom, stillness, song and silence, sustenance, and the end of supplication. In place of seeking, there is finding without loss, and love without boundaries. There are no walls in this existence. There is no difference, out or in. All that is radiates, quickens, awakens, fills, and empties in the same breath. And I know beyond doubt or any hesitation that I am all of this. Come back to your breath and awareness of your body here. Deepen your breath as you're ready and add little movements to reawaken to this day. As you're ready or willing, you can make your way to your side and up to a seated position once again. And when you come to seated, please close your eyes and just take a few moments to end the practice together. I also want to share with the group a Blissworks declaration statement as we celebrate 17 and look forward to 17 more or more. Blissworks Yoga and Healing Art Studio welcomes people of all ages, races, and genders, and serves them with the understanding that we can all figure ourselves out if given the proper time and space and tools to do so. Yoga and healing arts are the methods used to transform and release patterns in order to come into better alignment with oneself. Our community will leave you feeling empowered, allowing room for your authentic growth, healing, and the ability to create a life of true joy. Namaste.